episode of Two Smooth Operators, the only podcast about gate operator life
Only one,
for
dog.
technicians.
Dumb enough.
Your hosts, Michael Brooks and Robert Evers. Stay tuned for another great episode.
Am I pointing the right way? Stay tuned.
What's up?
What's going on? How long do they have to stay tuned for another episode? We're ready to go
Forever.
right. We're ready
You
to
gotta
go
stay
right now.
tuned forever. You can't never get out of tune. If you get out of tune, you gotta get back in tune.
Man, did you play this weekend or did you do anything?
Yeah, yesterday.
With who?
North-
Yourself?
No, I ran sound for the Pink Slips in North Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Place called Local on the Waters. It's a nice venue. It was pretty cool. Other than I got seafood poisoning on the way there, so
Oh, that's right. Hey, how's my audio sound? My audio sound okay?
I need a little bit more of you.
How we sound right now?
A little bit more.
Check 1 2, check 1 2, test 1 2.
I can hear you fine. But that's cool.
All right. So that's why I called you. I called to give you an update about geographics and regionals and all that other stuff. And Amber answered the phone. I guess not because you were sick, but I guess because you were working the board.
Well, I was sitting in the chair feeling like shit. I wasn't moving around at all. Everybody else was working while I was feeling like shit.
Well, if anybody's out there watching, looks like a couple people are. We're going to be going over gate operators and a job that Robert's got going on and something he saw out in the field. So if you got any comments, because we're not going to have all the answers on some of this stuff, if you got any comments or know anything about these gate operators that have just recently hit the market, I'm going to put you to the test too. You may not have seen each one of these.
Yeah,
or may
I
have
want
heard
to see
about
anything that's new. I love to see something new.
Well, we're going to find out about it. And LiftMaster's website is down, so I'm glad that I downloaded the manual for their new little gate operator. But first off, for anybody that's out there that's interested, YouTube channel is still going off. We picked up 6 subscribers in the last month. We had 7,000 views. I did 6 videos in the last 3 months, 6 long form videos. The long form videos don't do that well, but we did have one that did 1,200 views, and the shorts still, all the LiftMaster shorts still perform really well. Seems like those are generally in our top 3, top 4. But people like when I say we, I mean you do those programming videos. So you're gonna have to do more of that stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna do more here coming up once I get my team going.
Hopefully, I'll get some products now that I'll be in one location, and I could start doing some of those as well too. Probably need. Oh crap! I just now thought of something. Probably need a couple of keypads myself so I can do some programming videos on that. But I uploaded videos on solar panels, loops, trucks, US automatic stuff, and some test equipment. So that's all at Two Smooth Operators. All the stuff that we do is at Two Smooth Operators. So you had a busier week last week than I did.
Yeah.
Man, that's a pretty long. These are some of the pictures that you sent me. That's a pretty long swinger. How long was that?
21 foot 8 inches.
So it's obviously gate operators rated for the weight, because that probably don't weigh nothing. Probably pick it up with 2 guys, right?
Yeah, 2 guys, but I use my dingo to pick it up.
Oh, gotcha. What's a dingo?
A Toro, like Bobcat mini skid steer type thing.
Toro dingo, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Well, it looks pretty lightweight.
Yeah, I made the frame out of 2-inch Schedule 40, and then the horizontal and the brace pieces, the vertical braces and the diagonal braces in the middle, I made out of 1 5/8 Schedule 40 to lighten the load on the gate.
And I've seen some videos that SWI have done about gates and doing the diagonals with 45, like I don't know what it is, in tension, out of tension, or whatever.
That's it's down, so that's I can't exactly remember, but you
Oh,
can
okay.
do it either way. It doesn't really matter, but I like
They
doing
might
it
have
like this.
just been talking about pedestrian gates on that. And at the end of
No,
the day,
that's the way they do the cantilever gates too.
yeah, but as far as the video I saw, but that's probably why I have somebody else make my gates. I don't do them, so they can figure
Yeah,
that
but
stuff
I can't
out.
wait on nobody to make my gates.
Oh, you that busy?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I
It would
thought.
take me 2 to 3 weeks to get that gate or more.
Yeah, we just had the last place that I was at had a gate built by somebody. I can't remember. Oh, I think they're only out here, Circle A or something like that. Man, those things were horrible. I mean, they had to go back and sand and paint the welds and do
Yeah.
a whole bunch of other stuff, and it was bad. So,
Well,
anyways,
you got to be careful who makes your gates because, I mean, there's a lot of people making gates out there and they're making good gates, but there's also a lot of them out there that makes crap. So you got to be
anybody,
careful.
the guys out there or guys and gals out there watching, put in comments who makes your gates if you have somebody else, or do you do it all in house?
Only ones I do in house are the chain link gates like that. If it's anything other than that, I order the gates like a aluminum swing gate, double gate. I don't make those at all.
Gotcha. Um, yeah, that had some length to it, man. That's for
Yeah,
sure. And what gate operator did you put on there? And it looks like you put them on there sideways.
that's the automatic 350.
That's the bad boy with the foot pedal, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's the only way to do it. For you guys out there putting in gate operators, although Robert and I are fans of the automatics, there's Ram sets, there's other products out there where they make a foot pedal. I think Eagle may make a foot pedal. There's not very many swingers that are out there doing it. And this gate operator, how's the Red board doing for you? Their new brushless DC Pro board doing
They're
good?
doing good, man. I haven't had an issue with them all year. Main thing is just learning how to program them. Just if I make a mistake, it's normally on me because I don't know what I'm doing with it. But as I program them, I pretty much got them down pat now. So it's just making sure you take the right steps. And if you got a question, call the factory, and they'll line you back straight.
Yeah, it's one of the few places where the phone number that you call, you're actually calling into tech support. And wouldn't you
Yes,
agree with that? I think
they're the best.
they do a really, really good job. There was something recently that I didn't. Something happened recently where it wasn't 100%, but I think it's Dan and Fortino and a couple other guys there. Every once in a while, I have to go Fortino, but all of those guys that have helped me out have done a really good job. But the gate operators are fairly reliable. I have one issue with one board, which they had no problem taking care of. They're really good with their boards. And it really was more of a cosmetic issue than it was an actual issue with the hardware. The board still worked. It was just a cosmetic issue.
And
But
that gas jug is not gas; it's water. Just let everybody know.
oh yeah, because I'm sure somebody's gonna put that in there. Oops, I think I got a Finch University
They were
string.
spray painted blue for water. That's what I used to mix concrete with.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and it don't spill everywhere.
Oh, gotcha. See, and that's what's funny. The last place I was at, they always made a big deal about taking like 400-gallon tank with them. And I've just always, I guess, in some situations and some job sites, you're going to need power because you don't have power close, or you're going to need water because you don't have water close by. But I mean, how often are you going to a site that's new construction like this where you don't have access to water. But
You gotta bring your own water unless you have access on the property. That property is a mini storage, so it has no water running to it.
gotcha. What were you doing? Just setting posts with that, or was this
we set the motor. I put pad mounts in on stands. For the I used the automatic 150 stand, and I welded 2 pieces of angle iron on each end to make it fit the 350.
Oh, interesting. So that's why you mounted it. Well, I mean, it doesn't matter what orientation.
I was able to set that and mount the motor that same day.
Gotcha. Just not use it, right? Because you still want a couple of days to cure, right?
Oh yeah. I'm definitely not going to. That's a lot of stress on that pad.
Yeah, man. The people who are thinking that they're setting gate operators and running them the same day. I mean, if you think about it, if you just put like an 1/8 or a 1/4 inch of it moving at the top, it has so much leverage down at the bottom. Over time, there's no point in setting them and trying to run it that day without putting hydraulic cement in there. At least that's my opinion.
I mean, there's ways of doing it to do that, but if you have to do that, most likely you're gonna screw up. And I'm like, just don't.
Yeah.
Just stick to the old way on that, because you got.
So one of the things I found interesting was that you use 3 hinges on this. I've always been of the opinion, and I've always seen everything, especially with this size of gate, doesn't seem like it's going to be that heavy. Use 2 hinges. So these look like they're badass hinges.
Yes, 6 5/8 round post.
Gotcha. So those actually have some adjustment in them.
Yes.
And the way that they're installed, it looks like they can almost, like, how are you getting all 3 of those brackets aligned to where they're not fighting against each other?
I drill a hole in the gate. I take half the hinge apart. I drill a hole in the gate.
Mm-hmm.
And I set my first one straight. Then I go to the end one and I set it straight. Then I put the middle one on. I kind of line them up, make sure they're all straight, bolt them in. And then had my welder come around and weld it up and make sure they were all straight before we welded them. And then hung it like a dream.
Oh, okay. Cool.
And then when we got it set up to level it out, because it's got them adjustments.
Yeah.
I went and picked up the end of the gate and got it over level a little bit, and then tightened them bolts down that holds the hinges, the pivot point together, and it held it level. So I'm pretty confident that gate's not going to sag, but I am still going to put a truss rod on it though.
You know, I've always been of the opinion in this type of gate design, if you're putting a truss rod on it from the beginning, it's not designed right? Because that truss rod being there, you don't have to have that truss rod in there from the original installation. But some people go ahead and put it in there. So
in that design of the pipe, it can sag a little bit. And
gotcha.
I'll just have a truss rod as a safety to, if it needs to come up an inch a year or 2 from now, it's no big deal.
Fair enough. I think these other pictures that you sent me were part of that job as well too.
Yes, that's the exit gate side where we put the loops in.
Yeah, this is so important. A lot of people don't do this, but bring your conduit up, out, and way above. Like this first one is like too shallow for me, but that second one is just at right about the minimum of what you want it to be, because there's so many people that can come by and damage those. But what I've found when I left it small is people think that it's trash and they'll try to pull it out. And I've had, and then nobody will ever admit to it either. Like, oh no, we did that, man. We're sorry. No. So, but that's also one of the reasons why I really stopped doing those direct burial ones, is because every time I would have a problem with it. It would be that they didn't tell us that they were coming, or they came and the guys literally just ran a truck over what they had. The timing wasn't right or whatever. What's your opinion on the direct burial loops?
I think they work great.
Are you having any problems with them, like the problems
Never.
that I've been having?
Never have problems with them. They work. They're solid. They're durable. If you install them correctly, you will not have no problems with them.
Well, the problems that I had aren't with the quality of the loop, just the installation process in general. So I guess out there in North Carolina, y'all do things a little slower. I think that's the way I think that's North Carolina's motto,
Well,
is
I would
we're a
say
lot slower out here.
I don't think we do them slower.
Gotcha. Looks like you have a couple other conduits that came up there on the other side as well, too. Those were, what were those?
Those are not
high voltage and low voltage?
One of them's mine because I got to run a data cable. Actually, I got to run one for the operator, for the secondary operator, and then I got to run 1, 2, 3, 4 more wires through their communication wires, what I call Wiggum wire, for the PDK system, and the doors on the mini storage. I got to put a locking mechanism on the doors on the outside.
Throw it in the chats, everybody. What do you think? Do you like using these little LBs that he has going into the wall? How do you get into the wall? Me personally, I think using the LBs like that is one of the smartest things to do, because you get the separation of everything, but you get a very easy way to penetrate into the building without it having as much possibility for water to get in, because it's designed to make that 90-degree. I know I've done it in the past, and I'll probably do it in the future, where I would just throw a 6x6 or a 12x12 box up there and drill my holes in there, and then drill holes out the back of it. But you'll get water in there.
I didn't put them there. The electrician put them there for me, so I didn't have to.
That's why it was done good. I like it. What's up with this single gang box that's sitting over here? It's right next to your, is that the electrical?
That's the electrical for the electrician. After I get them mounted, he's going to run power to it.
What gate operators is going on back here?
Same thing, automatic 350, dual.
Gotcha. Those are nice. So you showed me this picture in the middle of the week. I think the text that you sent me was, "What's wrong here?"
Yeah, what's wrong with that one?
Well, first of all, the person that's doing this ain't never done it before.
Well,
second,
he called me.
Oh yeah, you don't have to say no names.
I won't say no names. It's cool. But he called me and he talked to me at the retreat.
Oh yeah.
Get back, just call me and I'll help you get it going. I said, then he called me, let me know it's a solar panel. And I said, well, do you got power nearby? He's like, yeah. I said, just plug the damn thing in. Just hook power up to it. Because I didn't know the situation and all that with the solar panel stuff.
So for anybody out there that's looking at this picture, put in the chat what you think is wrong with it. I'm going to tell you what I think is wrong with it. So the first thing is they took the brackets for the panel, one of the panels, and they flattened it out, bent it straight, and then used it for that top bracket. And those things aren't that thick. So you're really pressing it as far as any kind of wind resistance or anything like that. As a matter of fact, here in a minute, when we look at the new gate operators, I'm going to show you a chart that I've never seen before, as far as the angle that you're supposed to have these at. But anyways, that's the first thing that I noticed. I assume that this is, it's hard to say whether this was, did he say that he or she bought the LiftMaster kit for this?
I don't know if he bought the kit or not. To me, it don't look like the kit.
Well, it doesn't have the housing, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But most of the time that you buy these gate operators or buy these panels off of Amazon, they won't have those brackets that already have the holes and everything in there.
I don't know where he got it from, but I don't think he got it from a distributor or something like that, because normally a distributor would get you the right stuff for it.
You would hope so, but not all distributors are equal. But with that in mind, either that or the distributor parts and piece it together. So that's the first thing I see. For anybody that's out there that's doing solar, I want you to keep something in mind. When you're doing these types of systems, the manufacturer is also buying stuff just off the shelf as well too. They're not buying a panel that was designed specifically for them. They're just going through the catalog like you would go through a catalog in Grainger and saying, okay, these meet the specifications for our voltage, for our short circuit current, our voltage without a load, and we need to get a custom bracket manufactured for it, and then we need to get a custom box for it so it looks like and we'll put our own sticker on the back. So they're buying OEM products, hundreds at a time off the shelf. They're not having these systems designed specifically for them. So the problem with that comes in when you have a 24-volt system like this. It's so easy to, and I'm going to assume that's a LA 400 as opposed to a 412. It's a 400.
I think it's a 400.
So the 400. You know what's interesting? If I look at this picture, it actually looks like it has an outlet or a LiftMaster transformer plugged into it.
Well, it comes plugged into it, so that's the 400.
Oh, that was so that's the 400. But that's the non-solar kit. Okay, sorry, I had a brain fart just for a second. It's the non-solar kit, so it would have that transformer. Now, why that transformer is in there? If it's plugged up to something, I would be curious. Obviously you can't just run an extension cord over the ground. They're not designed.
Transformer is plugged into an outlet on the inside the control board, and that's what powers your control board along with the battery backup in the back.
Well, so the transformer goes to the gate operator, and then the gate operator charges the batteries, and then the batteries power everything. Yeah. Something to that effect. Yeah, well, actually, I think
dead, it will not work.
If batteries are dead, it won't work. But I think you'll actually still get some lights or something on the board.
Get lights on, but the gate will not operate properly.
It will not operate. So I guess what my point is obviously you bought a 400 non-solar housing, so there's a reason that it has the outlet and the transformer in there. But why? I guess he just left it plugged in there, because if you're going to go through all that, then there's power somewhere. You would think there's a utility pole right there. Yeah. Not that you were going to have power pulled from it, but you could get a meter set there. So anyways, long and short of it is when you're buying these systems, the manufacturer is really just buying. Would you agree that most manufacturers have one kit for that one gate operator and that's it? They don't have like multiple kits, like, oh, here's the one if you're in Idaho where you need a bracket that's 45 degrees. Here's the one if you're in Texas where you don't need as much current and you need the bracket at 12 degrees. It's just a one and done type thing. When you agree for the most part.
Yeah, but you got the 400 and you got the 412, and I think that's the difference in this system. I believe if he got the 412, he'd been set up more for solar. Wouldn't that be correct?
Well, I mean, really, for the most part, I mean, either one's just as convenient to do solar. I don't know if the 412, because it's lower voltage, also operates a lower current, therefore it doesn't push as heavy a gate or something like that. I'm not 100% sure.
So the LiftMaster has a heater on the photo eye, and I don't
You
know
don't.
if he had the heater plugged in or not. And you're not supposed to plug the heater in on the photo eye on the solar panel because it drains the power. And I believe that's probably what happened, but I didn't get too far in the details on that with this particular gentleman.
So one of the overriding things that I wanted to point out was if you could get away with one panel, just do one panel. It is in this application, he's already doomed from the beginning. It's not installed high enough, and it's going to be blocked 50% of the day. Now, a lot of people will go, hold on, how do you know what's going to be blocked? Well, in theory, it's facing south, and what do you see in the easterly direction of that? A big ass telephone pole. Well, it's only blocking a little bit of the panel. Well, because the way the panels are wired in series and in parallel, when you block one of those cells that's on there, you might block a whole strip. So that block being blocked like that for the day is going to kill both of those panels. In this particular installation, if it is facing due south, this is how I would probably do the panels. But when you start to put panels next to each other, left and right, you have a possibility, not 100% likelihood, that one panel will actually pull the other panel down because one is getting more.
Uh-oh, lost your mind. Anyways,
all right.
There he is.
Might have lost me there for a second. Yeah. So anyways, yeah. So just be careful about doing two panels. It's one of the reasons why they'll generally have more equipment with it than if you're just doing one panel. It'll have a special connection that includes a diode, or it's have some kind of device in there. I posted this the other day that when you're doing a solar system, you need to have a panel to controller to battery match. The other thing is we don't know what batteries are in there. So if this is a sealed lead acid battery, although I don't know for 100%, I'm going to assume that all the control boards that LiftMaster has does not know the difference between a lithium ion and the sealed lead acid or a wet battery, AGM battery. So you have to have a charge controller that knows what battery it is. You can't just charge sealed lead acid with the lithium ion charger. And the other part of the control panel is the solar panel, is you might not think it's that big of a deal, but the solar panels are having chargers built into them. So if you're trying to hook something with a charger already on it into another charger into the batteries, you might find that it just isn't going to work. So you have to have this whole system match. And then on top of that, sealed lead acid batteries have to be charged all day, every day. And for you guys that are interested, what's that?
So you're saying you got to make sure you have the right battery with the right solar panel?
Yes, it's all three of those together, right? Because the lithium ion charger can't charge a sealed lead acid battery. Now, you're most likely not going to find a charge controller that doesn't have sealed lead acid battery, lithium ion, nickel oxide, whatever the different batteries are out there. However, in this situation, we're not using a charge controller. That's a separate device. We're using what's built onto the board to charge it, right? Yeah. That's what's charging it, right? The board, the control board is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if the control board's charging it and it doesn't have the smarts to charge a lithium ion battery, you're doomed from the beginning because the life of that battery is going to get killed. Lithium ion batteries are not charged like sealed lead acid batteries. So if you're doing solar, make sure that you're buying it from the right distributor and make sure that they understand solar. If you're buying it from a distributor in Dallas, Texas, they don't understand solar in Iowa. You're talking about the panel needs to be at a different angle, and you need to have that match of all of that stuff that goes on. And in that situation, I would have a charge controller that will actually document what the battery is actually doing as well too. and I would bypass everything that the manufacturer has, like it is here. I would just be charging the batteries and skip the board altogether. But would you also say that having the batteries like that is kind of not bad, but just different?
Well, he don't install all the gate operators. He's
Lord,
been installing some ghost operators.
Yeah.
And he installed this one, and I knew that he was doing something wrong with the solar. So he was like, "Man, these LA 400s, I don't have a problem with the ghost." I said, "LA 400 is way better than the ghost." You just got to learn how to hook them up, and you won't have no problems with them. I said, you might not have problems with the ghost. Yes, they do work good when they're working, but they're for do-it-yourselfers, you know, and they're low end. And then when you go to try to get parts for them, you're going to find out how much their parts cost, just as much as the operator. And
yeah, that's what you're doing.
Like, you know,
place the whole gate
the
operator
LA 400 LiftMaster does back up their warranty and stuff on them. And I said, you're better off just learning how to do some of these LiftMaster for LA 400s. And I said, just run power to them. You know, don't worry about solar panel because the power is like right there at that pole. And I was like, just run it, hook it up, put an extension cord in it, and go. And this thing will work.
Yeah, if he's got power there, yeah, he doesn't need to be messing with solar. But there's a lot of things that are going on with this, and for you guys that are out there doing solar, it's not. You need to think twice about it. There's two things. Well, there's probably more than this, but just off the top of my head, with new guys, new installation companies, I tell them to stay away from solar and stay away from wireless edges. Those are like the two bugaboos that you're just going to run into. Loops don't seem to be a problem with new guys after they do one or two, or just buy preformed loops.
Yeah,
the preformed loop,
simple.
Yeah, they're pretty simple. It's the placement of them and it's the installation. You know, people think that they can go out there with a 4.5-inch angle grinder and call it a day, but unfortunately, you need the right equipment.
The right shit to do it with. Get you some stands, or get the big boy and do it with. Don't be on the fucking ground, bent over and doing it. That's stupid.
Well, yeah, and there's a lot of things that go along with that too. You're not getting the saw, you're not getting the cut level, and if you're using a sealant like BD Loop sealant, you're going to eventually come across a high spot. And the sealant, if you're using constant pressure, that sealant's going to push out right there where that's at, and cosmetically, it won't look so good. But anyways, if anybody's interested in batteries, here's a book you might want to check out. I don't know why, but I think on their website they have it for like $200, and I paid $49 for this, thinking that I was getting a good deal. But I couldn't find it available anywhere. But it's got a $29.95 listing on the back of it, so I may have gotten ripped off. But yeah, well, actually, I learned a couple of different things. First of all, the digital battery and the chemical battery. I'll leave that. I'll let all of y'all think about that and tell me if you know what it means. And if you do know what it means,
about this gentleman, at least he did reach out to somebody. He reached out to me at the retreat, Mr. Fence Academy retreat, and I was able to help him get the gate going. So I do appreciate that he reached out. If you don't know something, just reach out. You know, you can get up with one of us, and we're gladly talk with anybody that doesn't know something or wants to ask a question or our opinion about something. It might not be the right opinion, but we'll give you one.
There's probably about less than 5% of the phone calls that I get that are even chargeable, and I probably only charge for 1% of the phone calls that I get. And it's typically has to do because it's in the middle of the day or something like that. But I'm not putting my phone number up there because I don't want you to call. If I can't get to you, I won't get to you. If it's an emergency, then you got to deal with it for somebody else, or you got to pay to call me and talk to me. But I don't have that kind of availability anymore. So really, ultimately, at the end of the day, text me. And if you're needing service right then and there, you're better off getting with the manual, or what you should be doing anyway, your manual or your distributor. to make sure that, or the manufacturer,
And,
if you don't buy from a distributor, yeah, but we're available. And as picky as I'm being about this stuff, me personally, I'm saying it to be forceful and direct, but don't take my enthusiasm as I'm trying to be mean to you. It's not that at all. I just don't want you to have to go back on the damn job. That's all that it is. And I'm excited and I like this. What about you, Robert?
What we made this podcast for is for people to reach out and get hands-on experience with gate operators. So this is what it's about. It's not about putting anybody down, because you got to start somewhere. You know what I'm saying? And
Yes.
you just learn through the process, learn through your mistakes, with your experience. That's how you really learn how to do things. So you just got to learn.
Yeah, we'll help you do that. I mean, yeah, we get to laugh at things along the way, like that solar panel installation and stuff like that. That's all part of the job. If you've got that thin of skin, then you've got other issues other than laughing at your stuff.
He's gonna send me a gift card, so I'll accept that one day.
Yeah, but this right here, if the guy said that he read the manual exactly and he checked with his distributor and checked with the manufacturer and this is exactly how they want it installed, that'd be one thing. But what this person did was they bought all this stuff maybe offline, or maybe the customer bought it or something like that, and they hacked it together. But anyways, well, the whole point of the podcast, we're 36 minutes into it, so we're going to run through this pretty quick, was the new gate operators that are coming out. And we had LiftMaster was going to be the first one. They got an LMSL 1000, but their website went down. And I have to consult my manufacturer, and just to show you that I've got internet service, everybody else's website's working, and you can watch this podcast because it's being streamed live. So LiftMaster, I can't show pictures of that gate operator from the website, but there's a drawing or a rendering of it, and you can see that it looks similar to some other stuff that we're starting to see nowadays. Wouldn't you agree, Robert? I guess it's kind of hard. You can't see it as far as to scale, like up against the gate. But apparently they've got two models of these, the SL600 ULC and the SL100 ULC. And I pulled the manufacturer's website up. LiftMaster's down when you need them, no surprise. And I also pulled the manuals up, which is what I have here. And there was a couple of interesting things that I found in the manuals. First of all, I'm not against them putting all the classes in there, but when you look at this briefly, it looks like it's class 1, 2, 3, and 4. And if you guys aren't familiar with what those classes are, then or rating of gate operator, then you can look it up on your own time. But basically, it's residential, commercial, industrial, and then restricted access. And it shows all four of them. But then at the bottom, if you kind of read the fine print, it says that it's only 1, 2, and 3. And thought that was kind of interesting. So, it's rack and pinion. It looks like it's going to have magnets on the chain, which I am not a fan of at all.
I'm not a fan of that either. But I just don't like it because it vibrates and goes up and down, and then the chain will start to loosen. It's a service call, but I'm not a big fan of
it. They work until they don't work. And when they don't work, it's a problem because you have to figure out whether it's the switch or the magnet. And in order to do that, you have to replace the magnet. And just by default, you should go ahead and replace the switch. So the cost is increased, But a lot of people, they'll just go out and replace one part of it, not realizing that the other part's bad too. And then it'll run over the magnet or run over the little mounting bracket or whatever. And then you got to replace the whole thing. I've been through that more than once. But yeah, it's a pretty small little footprint, and it's rack and pinion. So are you doing very many rack and pinion gates?
I got a few out there, but mostly that's like aluminum sliding gates.
Gotcha.
Decorative fence, type thing. But not here lately. We've been doing that because we haven't had that come up yet. So.
It's interesting too, the way they have these. I'd be interested to talk to one of the salespeople, how they have the magnetic brackets and stuff. So it looks like everything that you would expect in a slider. Not sure what receiver that it has. Boy, that board looks like it's going to be pretty interesting. But anyways, what's that?
I like them boards like that. Yeah.
I can tell you that I've really been happy with the new All-O-Matics. Let's see if this is, it's a Spanish too. I was going to say this is a pretty long manual for that. But anyways, I would assume that the 600, so that's the other thing that pisses me off with their website's not working. Let me see what the weight rating is here see if I can find it real quick. Okay. So the SL1000, what would you expect the weight rating to be?
800 pounds.
So it's 2,200 pounds.
Okay.
What do you think about that?
Bullshit.
And the 600 is 1,300 pounds. So the 600 and 1,000 represent kilograms, which I am definitely down with getting rid of the standard system and going to metric, but we're just not there yet. And the battery backup is optional on these.
That's
so
bullshit.
Well, it's that just tells us it's an AC motor. So or at least I'm assuming it is. Let's see. 120 volt. Nope, it's not an AC motor because it says system operating voltage 24 DC, which doesn't mean anything. I would be interested in knowing that. If I can read it real quick, I'll read it. But maybe it is.
Gate should come with battery backup. It shouldn't even be an option.
Well, I'm just curious whether it's a 24 volt DC motor or not now. Because it says system operating is 120.
Motors. They used to have AC motors on auto operators back in the day. So.
Man, and they ran like a champ, dude. Yeah. Let's see if they have a parts breakdown. If they do, then that'll. I don't know. So motor, transformer, motor with coupling. It's hard to say from here whether that's an AC or DC motor. I'm going to assume that it's a DC motor just by size and shape.
I don't know.
What's that?
I don't know. We'll just assume DC.
Okay. So anyways, let's see if it popped anything back up. No, LiftMaster website down. Super excited about that. And Rotary Gates, they've got one coming out. I might have actually already been on the Rotary one.
Swinger, don't they?
The new Swinger. Yep, that's what this is. And for you guys that aren't familiar with this one, 8 feet, 1,000 pounds, 17 feet, 500. It's real similar, if not identical, with the exception of the brackets and the way the limits are to their sliders. But if you've got a compact space, that's one of the ones that can do it because the housing can be mounted anywhere. Mounted 100 feet away if you wanted to.
That's what I should have
so
done. It's one of those.
For what gate?
Gates I'm working on now should use one of those.
Looks like 1,700 pounds or 17 feet is what they have on the max, and 500 pounds at 1,700 feet. So it's got the 20-foot double.
Yeah.
2 10-foot leaves.
Yep.
There you go, man. It happens. But that's what I wanted to point out in their manual is that it's the same motor and design as their sliders, with the exception of the limits and the way that they're done. But the mounting, the operator, the whole housing, the board, the power supply, any other additional items that they have that are either optional, braking and stuff like that. Receivers, it comes with the, I think it's an optional receiver on those, and Bluetooth and all that stuff. That whole housing can be mounted separate. So rotary gate system SW-C is coming out. That's one of the new gate operators.
You'll have
You and
a
I
control
talked
panel with it, don't you?
a control panel,
Yeah.
like meaning what?
The rotary gate. You have a control box with the board in it.
Yeah. All of that can be mounted completely separately. So you just end up running 6 wires or something like that to the arm for your limits and your motor. And that's about it. So this board got me in a little hot water because it didn't have auxiliary relay. I think they're going to be putting one on there. But I haven't installed one of these sliders. Have you?
I want them to do a video. Is that the nice
Juno?
Juno?
Yeah, high security Juno.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's interesting. It's got a light. It's got a, what's that?
I'd like for them to send me one.
It's got a light in there. It says enhanced visibility with the gate and moving and stays on for 20 seconds after reaching the open or the close limit. The photo eye is integrated. What's the rating on this? So it's down there at the bottom as well. And it says 800 pounds and 40 feet wide at a rate of 1 foot per second. Oh, sorry. I didn't click on the right one. Juno. There we go. So has the details down there on the bottom little ticker. There was no manual for me to pull up. It just says full specifications, and then it has the data sheet, which is all on here anyway.
I think
So,
I might have a manual on it, but
yeah.
Jeremy
Oh, he did. So it's got their blue bus and USB port and all of this other stuff that I'm not 100% familiar with, but it's a way to connect their photo eyes and a couple other things. It looks like it's got a 3-year warranty, and this one is only class 1 and class 2, so it's not commercial rated. It's just residential rated.
Yeah. Good. I think that would be a good operator to start on, though. You know, because it's got
for
everything there.
An installer.
For a first timer, yeah.
Oh yeah, could be.
It's got the
Let's
photo
see.
eye where you can just mount it and go in the operator. That's what I like about it. That's what I like.
Yeah,
most
the one
about
thing.
it.
The one thing that I had a question on was, okay, it's a slider, so it's got 1 photo eye. Don't you need 2?
I believe it has one on both sides.
Oh, okay. Just says singular here, but that'd be good for Jeremy to put in the comments.
Yeah. He'll
so
get us straight
next.
on that.
Yeah. So PPA now has UL rated gate operators. I installed one at the Finch University, and I had PPA walk through several things with me. And I will tell you, as far as the design and concept of the gate operator, it's actually not as awkward as I thought it was going to be for this small of a gate operator.
Yeah.
These gate operators, if you go to put them in, they need to have, and you're going to put them in with loop detectors or your third-party receiver or anything other than what comes with it from the factory. I would highly recommend putting a 12 by 12 box underneath it, above it, or something to be able to mount all of that other stuff. This is really not designed to have anything else in there. Have you installed the one that, I know you had said you've done some PPA stuff
No,
at one
I
time.
haven't done any. Never done any PPA.
I think
BFT.
I think it was BF2. That's what I was thinking of. So so I put one of these in, and it's a bolt together product. The chassis, I don't know why they even, I guess they have to do that chassis with just for the idler pulleys or something. But the chassis seems like it's too much. But I mean, you're literally like, you can pick it up with one hand. And 1,700 pounds, we put it on a 300-pound gate, didn't have any problems, but it's definitely not 1,700 pounds. So one thing interesting is I pulled up the user manual, and it pulled up like for the slider, overhead, and pivoting. So I think that's really what we might call the user manual. This is probably the end user manual. So that has some of that. It's not the installation manual, and the installation manual, or this manual, whatever they called it, they call it the technical manual. It's got more details on the installation of it. But I was really impressed with how you could actually hook up a controller from the outside to it and do everything from program remotes, delete remotes, set the limits, set what type of photo eye it is. Everything for the most part, you could set it. And it does have a small little screen in there too. If you don't have that controller, you can all program it from the front. But you can see this is definitely not traditionally like we would see any of the other manuals where we would have the class ratings, and then diagrams where the loops go, and like clearly drawn out pictures of entrapment points and stuff like that. But I'm sure they'll figure that out. This is another rack and pinion gate operator, just like that Juno's rack and pinion too, isn't it?
It's both.
Oh, it's both. It can do chain or rack and pinion. What does it come with? Do you know? Oh, couldn't find that page.
I think it comes with either one side.
All right. Well, we'll figure that out here in a minute.
I don't know 100% because I never put one in, so I don't know.
Well, I would appreciate it if you would find out, man, because I'm tired of you not knowing new gate operator stuff. Let's see. So I have only put that one PPA in. They're UL rated now. So according to everybody, LiftMaster and all of that stuff, that means it meets the same quality standard requirements as any other gate operator that's out there. That's what they use as their standard. Whether it's the right thing to do or not, I don't know. So Mr. Fence Academy, high security. Sorry, I didn't even think about whether this was a chain driven or not. All right, so we'll go over to here. And can we see that? Yep, we sure can. All right, let's see what Mr. Fence has to say about it, because I think he put this in.
All
right, so that answers the question right there, is that one's chain driven.
Yep.
And I helped put the gate operators in down on the other side. And as you can see, it gives people an idea of the scale of that and the size that it is relative to the gate. And he did a solar one as well too. But anyways, that's what it looks like. And that's what it's there for, a residential gate operator, which is exactly what it's on. You can see it's a 4 foot tall, probably a 20 foot long gate with the tail and everything. So that's that. PPA is a rack and pinion one. I take that back. This is chain as well too. Shoot, I'm sorry. That's chain. Yeah, it's chain. The one that I had is chain. So there you go. it's worth exactly what you paid for it for re. But I was almost positive the one that we had was chain here in the States. I know it's chain, as a matter of fact. So not a new gate operator mentioned on their website, but Door King has their controller listed on the website. They may have their gate operators as well too. Swing and slide. Maybe those are the new slide gate operators, DC slides. Yeah, brushless DC. I saw this design at the Fence Show. Have you played around with this one at all?
Nope.
The guys at Door King were kind enough to let me do some demonstrations on it. What I noticed right off the bat was a big complaint that I have, and you know as well as I do, the LiftMaster Photo Eye is the worst at this, is when you have to have multiple tools just to install one device.
Yeah.
And the LiftMaster Photo Eye has to have the small Allen wrench, the big Allen wrench, 7/16 nut driver, however you're mounting it in there, which is generally 5/16,
And a Phillips screwdriver.
and a Phillips screwdriver, small Phillips screwdriver.
And you got to have a drill bit to screw the bracket on.
If you're going into a heavy post. Now, they do include the small Allen wrench. They do include the big Allen wrench. They don't include the 7/16. They don't include the Phillips, which I don't care whether they necessarily include any of that stuff. It's something a technician should have on their truck.
But
If it
I think LiftMaster has the best photo eye.
it's definitely been very, very reliable. The first gen was not reliable at all. Now that they have this second generation of it, has been really, really reliable.
Especially with that heater on it.
I haven't had to do heater at all. I never put the heater on. So I can't tell you one way or the other, but I'll
do
take
it where I live at, or the fog will get it, or the rain.
Gotcha. But they do. The other thing that I like about them is that they include the cable. The cable's already mounted and all that stuff. Surprisingly enough, if you look at that one relative to an EMX IRB RET2, they're similar in design, but having to do that wire takes an extra 10 minutes. So it's nice having that on there. And I think the IRB RET, there's one other problem that it has as far as the mounting goes. But if they could just include that wire, again, include this, include that, all of our costs start going up. But if they could just include that wire, it would definitely be really helpful, and have it already installed in there. It probably cost an extra $5 more, but I'd be willing to pay for that because it saved me time. I'm not comparing prices on Photo Eyes. I'm not like, oh, this one's 105, this one's 125. I'm just going to buy this one cheap one. Yeah, we're just buying reliability, right?
Yeah. Well, this one comes with the Photo Eye, and it's more durable. It's already wired into the Photo Eye, and it's ready to go. So that's why I like them LA 400s. They're just pretty much ready to go.
Yeah, I definitely like it better than my favorite gate operator in that class, which is the US Automatic Patriot. The Photo Eye that they have, I think it's a little too complex as well too. I don't know if you've installed one of those.
Years ago.
It's it might not even been the one that they include now, because the one they include now is a through beam, so it's powered on one side and battery powered on one side, and then in theory powered off the gate operator on the other. But it's just too many parts and pieces to put it together. And then again, same thing, they don't include the wiring with it. It does work though, because it's through beam, it'll do really good at 30 or 40 feet, which is probably the max you're putting on either the slider or the swinger anyway. But the point of all of that is when you have multiple tools to work on a product for no damn reason whatsoever, just keep in mind you're making it more complicated for the technician, and that's exactly what Door King did here. Although they love their proprietary stuff, and I'm sure that it serves them well in some situations, and that's exactly what they're going to have with their little loop rack system that they've got over here. They have big screws, flatheads, and small screws. So even with the Door King tool that they give you, you can't confidently tighten the big screws down.
Hey,
so
are you talking about on the cover?
I'm talking about on the control board.
Oh, well, let's talk about these covers they got.
Oh God, don't get me started on
big screw with you got to have a big ass screwdriver, Phillips screwdriver to
Phillips, yeah.
Covers off. Why? Doesn't make sense. Why don't they just have a normal screw go in them, you know?
Why did they have any screw whatsoever? Don't you remember the good old CSW and CSL days where you literally could, from like 20 feet away, throw the gate operator housing on there and it would land perfectly with no screws, no nothing?
And then on top of that, the customers lose the screws.
I don't even put them in, man. So like right here, I know it'd be hard to see on your computer screens, but if you look at, like, for instance, these top 2, 3, 4, it looks like maybe even the number 2, 3, and 4, which is fire department, 24 volts, open inputs. Those right there are the small flatheads. But if you look at everything across the top, they're the big flatheads, and then all this shit down at the bottom. So if I'm servicing this gate operator and I need to figure out what's going on, I have to have 2 tools just to do it. I thought we were supposed to be making this shit simpler, not harder. And I appreciate the fact that they're doing the screen and now we can do voltage and all that other shit. And this is no knock on Door King. The priority that we need to work on, guys, is making this shit reliable. Not that it has all this shit in there. The more shit that you put in there, the bigger the problem that it seems to be for the first 3 or 4 years until you finally figure it out. And I've seen that across the whole board. It used to be, do you remember like when Viking did it? Viking put a screen on their control boards, and when they did that, and then they had so many problems with those first generation boards, it was like every time I saw something with the screen, I was just like, fuck it.
I had to quit installing Vikings. They're good operators, but I was having so many issues with them.
Yeah, we had tons of issue at the beginning. The L3 and the H10 board, they had so many problems with the L3 boards that it was to where we weren't buying the L3s with the L3 board in it. We would automatically get the H10 board, and then it was like, well, why are we buying this? Why don't we just buy the H10? And that cost was not effective or whatever. So anyways, for you guys that don't install gate operators, but you feel confident to design them, think about what the techs have to deal with day to day. And this stuff right here is not fun to deal with. It just drives you crazy. And as a matter of fact, what you're going to find is a technician uses the small screwdriver for all of these screws, and he's going to strip all those big screws out. And then we're going to have a bigger problem. They're not going to have Phoenix connectors for them and all that other stuff. So
make sure you got your tools with.
Make sure you got what?
Your tools.
Yeah, there you go. But the big screen looks nice. The buttons are a little bit weird. They're like, I guess, inset, so you don't accidentally push them or have something push up against them. So, all right, we got one more gate operator that we're going to show you here real quick, and that's Genie. Have you seen these?
No, but I know the garage door openers.
What's that? You know the garage door openers?
Yeah.
So it looks like the commercial one's going to be 36 volt, but it does have a 7-day timer built in and a couple other receiver built in, a couple other cool things that you kind of need. They've got a actuator arm, 2 residentials, and then 2 commercials. And the commercials are 36 volt.
They can keep that.
Well, I looked at it at Fence Tech, a couple of years ago. I haven't seen any out in the wild, and there were a couple of interesting things, but there were a couple of things too that they were going to have to work on. But I still think the 36 volt thing, and we both fans of All-O-Matic, and they've got a 36 volt gate operator that I never have installed. But I still think the 36 volt thing is just weird. Like, just go ahead and make it a 24 volt motor, and the cost is going to be less expensive. I don't know. Maybe unless they have, I don't know. It just seems that that's weird.
Who knows? I don't know. You know.
Yeah.
It's just another product they're pushing. We'll find out. They're going.
Maybe they got
of them and sell them, so.
Well, we're going to be working on them for all you guys that are out there in the service business. You're going to be working on them at some point in time, so you better understand them. But I thought this was interesting for everybody out there that's doing solar. I kind of mentioned it before. Oops, I need to put this down here so it comes up with a different ticker. And then put this right here. For you guys that are out there doing solar, I've talked about size, orientation, angle, and position before with solar panels. The angle of the dangle varies upon where you're located in the United States. So as you can see in Dallas, Texas, you got 45 degrees. It's probably in between 35 and 40, but because I've been such an advocate for 45 degrees for so long, I'm going to make sure that it's my way is the right way. And South Padre,
Southeast North Carolina.
So if I remember, that's the one that's right next to Tennessee, and that runs right through the middle of Charlotte, this line, and that's 45 degrees.
Go to the coast.
Go to the coast. I know it's kind of hard to see.
Right, that from the right, 1,
Charlotte.
2, 3, 4. Go to the 4th line. 1 in the middle. That's exactly where I'm at.
No, it ain't.
Yeah, where it crosses. Where that cross is at. You see that cross?
Yeah.
That's exactly where I'm at.
Oh, I thought you were closer to. How far are you from the coast?
I'm right next to the coast.
Huh. All right. Well, interesting. But just so you guys know, that's why.
What degree? What degree?
45.
45. Okay.
Yeah. So you want the tilt angle at 45 degree, and I've always said 45 degree. I will stay with 45 degrees. I don't install anything up north, so that's when you get into southern Pennsylvania, middle Ohio, Maryland, all that stuff, Virginia, which I'll be up there next week, 55 to 65 degrees. So has to do with the size, orientation, angle, position, or if you don't get those right, you're screwed. So SOPI is the acronym that I use, but I pulled that manual up just to show that that one thing. It's interesting. I don't know that I've ever seen it like that before. It may be in somebody else's manual, but that's it. So 2 players doing it again.
Yeah, man.
So don't get your solar panels like this, so you're going to have some problems. What else you got to say, Robert? I did all the talking.
Well, I got a lot coming up this week. Got to meet with project managers on my big job I got tomorrow morning, and I got a big job at the recreational park for a fence. Then I got a slew of electric gates to install. I got a lot going on, making that big money now.
What part of the world? What part of the world are you going to be working in?
Southeast North Carolina. You
Nothing out of town. Are you done with the job in Jacksonville?
know, no, I won't be done with it probably till next week.
Until when?
Next week, I still got to run a lot of conduit inside the building. 2 buildings.
Gotcha.
Run control wires and stuff. That's
Gotcha.
a good day just running conduit because I got to go up and down, up and down.
EMT.
I'm using Wigglewire 6 conductor.
Okay.
Using gray conduit PVC.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know what I got. I have new shit all next week, so life changing, baby. And then I'll be at
time to roll on, roll tide.
roll tide, baby. Then I'll be.
But the tide.
I think I kind of got a handshake agreement to go up to up north and talk to some people about their gate operator business and some little tweaks with the technicians' trucks and technicians' checklists and diagnosing and their tools. So I'll be excited to do that. And that's all that I got going on. So until then, sign us off, Robert.
Thank you for tuning in to Two Smooth Operators Podcast. Your hosts, Michael Brooks and Robert Evers. I'd like to thank you for tuning in.
I'd like to thank you too.
Tune in next Sunday, 5 o'clock Eastern Time. Thank you very much for watching another great episode of Two Smooth